The film begins and we see a little girl named Amber inside a school bus. The girl who is drawing is sitting in the next seat with the boy who is her friend and who also teases her. He snatches the drawing from her hand but is scared to see her. Then the teacher, Amber's dad, she used to call her to school so that he could also see his daughter's drawing, which even her father was very surprised to see. Remain because the drawing shows a monster stabbing a human being. The school counselor calls Amber to talk about her emotions. Amber says that she drew this drawing thinking of her friend. The person who snatched the drawing from me on the bus because now he is my friend, but he always keeps troubling me. Hearing this, the counselor replies that this kind of it's normal to have feelings, and it's better to express them in the form of a drawing rather than a human being. After actually doing something like this, the counselor lets him go, but Amber finds her strange notebook. She leaves her there. In the afternoon, Amber's brother, Jack, is roaming in the woods. He also has a mobile phone with him. Suddenly he stumbled and fell down, due to which his phone fell into the pond. Jack somehow gets up and takes out his mobile, but the screen is broken and he goes back. He decides to do it, but after a few moments he sees that the mobile is completely fine. He was quite surprised by what he saw. Then in the evening this family was enjoying pizza together, in which, meanwhile, we learn that his mother has died. Jack teases his sister, Amber, causing her to break Jack's plate. This angers Jack, and he gets up and leaves. Then at night, Amber is drawing enthusiastically in her new notebook. The next morning, as she boards the bus, she remembers that she left her notebook in her room. She calls her dad and says, "Dad, I left my notebook in the room. Please bring it." But he says, "Leave it today, son. Take it tomorrow." Then Amber agreed, but she promises that he won't look at the notebook. Inside the house, Dad sees what Amber drew in her notebook. Then his sister, Amber's aunt, arrives, and her sudden arrival frightens Dad. Then both of them talk about selling the house, but Aunt knows that Amber's dad isn't sure about this decision. That's why she tells them that whenever people come to see the house, to buy, that is, buyers, you should stay outside, and if you come in front of them, then remain silent. The tree is inside, still thinking about the notebook in his heart. But he keeps it aside. After some time, he accidentally drops it. He quickly starts cleaning and runs inside the house. His sister was quite surprised to see him upset. Dad found his dead wife's belongings there. You get a dryer, that is, something that dries things. Dad looks through those things and reaches his wife's ashes and bones, which is kept in a special vessel after a person dies. Then, while drying the notebook, he accidentally drops it down. She falls, and this time he sees all her drawing sketches. Amber returns home. She was drawing tentacles on her hands, creating trouble again at school. Dad sternly orders him to give all his drawing materials to someone. Amber realizes that Dad has seen all my drawings and sketches. So in anger, she throws away the colors and locks herself in the room. Jack finds a broken plate in the dustbin and runs into the woods. Dad, then Amber, go to the room where he had drawn strange insects on the wall, who steal her belongings, such as mobile phones, coffee mugs, and then her body parts. Also, sometime later, Dad is outside the house with Amber because her sister is inside. Bayer gets busy with Dad and tells Amber that you should draw very beautiful things first. Amber replies, "But you always threw them away anyway." Hearing this, Dad immediately went inside the house and came out with a box, which contains all the drawings Amber ever made for her dad. Amber sees this and shows her new scary drawing to Dad, which made her a little nervous. But then I took out one of his old drawings and pasted it into my notebook. They give it to you and say that you should keep the good things along with the bad things. Amber still gave him a little, and she makes a creepy, weird one, in which she makes a big blue monster. He said that I have seen many more monsters like this. Creatures have been created, all of which are called idols. Meanwhile, Jack returns home and finds the broken plate he took to the pond in the woods. She has recovered, but then a strange thought comes to her mind. I thought of taking my mother's ashes to the pond. Emer sees him leaving and takes the book and follows him. Suddenly, she comes from behind and scares Jack and tries to snatch the box. Meanwhile, the notebook fell into the pond. Jack tries to pry it out with a stick, but the water makes strange noises. The two run in panic, and Amber shows Jack that all the drawings in the notebook have been erased. Then they hear a growl from the forest. Jack then tells Amber, "Please don't tell Dad anything about this," and runs away. In the morning, a shopkeeper came into her shop and saw that all the drawing books and colors are scattered here and there. His coworker, who was also there, starts calling the police, but then something strange comes from behind. She arrives, seeing which the female shopkeeper runs away from there. She went, and when the boy saw her, he also immediately ran away in fear. This was actually a creature that picks up the hoodie lying on the table and wears it itself. At home, Dad tried to wake Jack, but he was already awake and a little nervous. Then Dad discovered that Amber had been sleeping in the cupboard. Amber says someone kept tapping on the window all night. Dad checks, but there's something yellow all over the place. Dad thinks the bird must have done something and ignores it. Jack then tells Amber, "I'll tell you everything, but you just have to keep quiet. Then Dad can hear them too." When the bus arrives, Dad stops Jack and tells him that if something is bothering you, you can always tell me, son. Then Jack tells them about the pond and says that whatever goes into it becomes alive. Amber's sketchbook also fell into it, so that's why all the elements in her drawings, such as creatures, monsters, and everything that's going on in it, everyone is alive. Dad is irritated, but Jack explains the story about the plate. Still, Dad doesn't believe him and tells him to get on the bus. While cleaning the windows, Dad hears some strange noises coming from the woods. He comes inside the house and finds that his coffee mug is missing. Meanwhile, his sister is cleaning the house and sees that he deliberately took down all the pictures of his wife from the wall. After this, when Dad comes out with the goods, he finds the broken plate completely fine. Inside the bus, Amber asks her brother Jack about the growling sound. I keep asking, and her friend keeps listening to their conversation secretly. After some time, the bus stops because a broken-down vehicle is parked on the way, around which blue-colored liquid is scattered, and now Amber. Eventually, she notices the flying crayons, the colors that make these drawings colorful. In the meantime, a terrifying growling sound is heard from the side and then near the bus. First a blue foot comes out, and then another, and then slowly an amber. A long blue monster made by him comes out and makes strange noises. So the driver immediately starts driving the bus faster, and the creature starts chasing them. The bus collides with the broken vehicle and goes into the nearby fields. All the students were fine. But they are convinced that the driver is dead, and then the monster arrives behind the bus. All the kids hide under the seats. Amber tells Jack that the bus horn honked and woke him up. It needs to be put to sleep again, and music can put it to sleep. Jack tries to take the driver's phone, but the monster just runs inside. He grabs Jack and starts pulling him out. But suddenly he fell down staggering and fell asleep because a student, the one with the iPod, turned on the music, and all the kids got out of the bus and ran away. As Jack was leaving, the music ended, and the next song was very slow. The monster immediately wakes up again, and all the children start running away. At that moment, Dad's car, some signals from the school come on the radio, but the message is not heard clearly. This message was actually about these monsters, so he immediately came inside the house and starts looking for the phone. They find colors scattered on the floor, leading to the cupboard. When he opens the cupboard, he finds his hood and coffee mug. There was a strange ball attached to the back of the mug. This was also a creature that suddenly jumps on Dad, but Dad barely manages to knock him over and smashes a plate on him, killing him. On the other hand, 4 children run out of the forest. But Amber suddenly stops because they left her annoying friend alone and Amber in her sketches. Most of the monsters were created specifically to attack his friend in the forest. Friend encounters strange yellow and green creature. Boy tries to chase it away, but the creature started glowing by sprouting many big horns from its head. I was feeling it, and making noises as well. Then a big monster came out from behind, appears before him. He opens his big mouth and attacks. But he failed completely in this attack. Amber's friend thought the monster might be blind. But once again, the monster got up and adjusted its angle, and its next attack was completely... He had to be in the right direction, and his friends came to his rescue before he could attack. But that glowing creature is still there, acting strangely. Jack picks it up, and also washes the pond, so that it is completely destroyed. As soon as this happens, that big one, the monster also starts leaving on its own because Amber has brought them together. It was made that if one is not there, then the other is also nothing. Dad and his sister are also at that place. Where the accident happened, they discover that the driver and the other children are safe, but Jack, Amber, and his friend are missing. They both think that he might have gone home, so they also set out towards home. Now the monster in the hoodie also reaches the pond, where he also had all the drawing equipment, and now he sits there and starts sketching himself. On the way, Dad tells his sister about these monsters, or idols, as Amber told him, but his sister apparently found this a little hard to believe. Then suddenly a cat comes in front of their car in the middle of the road. So Dad stopped the car, and when he got out and looked, he saw paint scattered under the car. Then they also see the cat Amber drew, sitting on top of their car. Red's sister thought it was a normal cat, and she thought it was her pet and started touching it. But suddenly the cat returns to the form in which it was drawn. She takes out her large, colorful wings and throws color on them too. Then she quietly goes and sits aside. Suddenly she throws the car away with force and then goes into the forest. Children decide by drawing colors that one must draw a weapon to fight against the monsters. He then draws a strange weapon. On the other hand, when both the brother and sister were returning home, they started arguing on the way. Amble's aunt tells her, "How are you trying to erase their mother's memories?" This is why Amber started drawing such creatures. Meanwhile, his eyes fall on a very big bird sitting on a wire post. Both of them got very scared and immediately started running towards home. Amber's friend asks her, "Why did you want to kill me?" That too so much. Then Amber reminds him of the times when he troubled Amber. Meanwhile, Jack has redrawn his weapon. The three of them gather the necessary items to fight the monster. But before leaving, Amber says that I have to go to the washroom, and then his friend also went with him because he also had to go to Amber's. She went to the washroom of the room, she had locked the door, her friend repeatedly knocked on her door. But he knocks, then Jack tells him to go to the other room as soon as he enters the other room. When he enters, the entire room is filled with eiders, which were spider-like creatures that crawled on the walls. They are crawling on the floor, so he quietly closes the door, but Jack sees that idols are stuck on the body of Jack. Immediately runs and hits him against the wall and floor, so that as soon as Amber comes out to kill the eiders, an eider comes in from the roof and follows her, and falls straight into the room, which is full of orderlies. The orderlies immediately run out. Jack picks up a water gun, but Amber's friend ran out. Jack shoots as many as he can. He starts ordering as many orders as he can. Amber manages to sneak into the bathroom and reach the bar top, and runs the water, causing creatures to be washed away. But there are still many orders outside, trying to break down the door and get in. Jack thinks about breaking the window and leaving. Then Amber's friend returns and starts hitting them one by one with a water tap. All three came out and finished the orders one by one. And sitting in a corner, breathe a sigh of relief. Dad and his sister come in, there's red paint everywhere. But by then, the children have already left for the forest. Suddenly, Amber collapses and begins crying, while Jack repeatedly tells her to get up. Then Amber angrily says that you always keep bothering me. Amber's aunt calls the police and again mentions Amber's mother. She says that Amber is actually right, who, instead of hiding her true feelings, is exposing them to these monsters. Then they hear a tap-tap on the window. When they check, they see that the butterfly they drew has spread its wings. And then a butterfly flies by and they decide to follow it. Jack finds many things from his home in the forest, which it was painted over, and all of this stuff was stolen by the Iders. This is the item that went missing. All this was kept near a sweet and lovely painting. The painting that Amber made as a child. There, Jack finds more drawings of Amber and picks up the sword drawing. Later he encounters the hoodie monster, who is sitting by the pond, still drawing. That monster draws another mana and drops it into the pond. Jack decides to throw the weapon drawing into the water as well. But the creature appears, so Jack drops the sketch. The monster in the hoodie grabs the page and tears it up. Meanwhile, Amber's friend shows off his self-made flamethrower that shoots fire. They decide to get the monster away from the pond, and Amber's friend tries to distract her. He was about to attack the monster when suddenly, even the monsters in the creepy sketches come alive. When he has to flee, he hides inside a tent. The monster attacks Amber and Jack fires a flamethrower. But the orderlies sneak inside the tent, causing a commotion and alerting the monsters. The big monster pulls the tent away. He is about to attack Amber's friend. Then Dad and his sister reached there and killed that creature, and thus saves Amber's friend's life. Jack holds off the monster while Amber tries to draw something that could protect them. But this time the pen doesn't work. The monster overpowers Jack and tries to strangle him with its long tongue. Then he uses his brain to bring his tentacles to life. She is a woman and keeps fighting with the monster for some time, but the monster somehow catches him too. Then Jack brings his sword to life and takes it out He kills the monster by biting it in one attack. But the hoodie monster is still alive and attacks them again. And then Amber's friend fires his glowing weapon and blows the monster away. Canute also arrives there. They run towards each other, but suddenly a dragon attacks Amber. Amber then uses her tentacles to tear the dragon to pieces. She hugs her dad, and then all her beautiful drawings float into the pond. As soon as she goes inside, she starts moving and becomes alive. Now all the people in town see good things flying in the sky. Jack stands in front of the pond, decides to drop his mother's ashes into the pond. Dad stops him and says that you have been suffering the pain of losing your mother for so long. The truth is, it is very important to feel and tolerate grief. This makes a man brave. But Jack broke the box, from which ashes and bones have fallen into the water. But when nothing happened, Dad hugged him and said, "It's okay, son. Don't worry. Stay relaxed. I am here. I am both your father and mother." Amber joins them. She spreads her tentacles to cover them. Then we see a scene from some time ago, where they were at home and starting their normal lives again. The town slowly returns to normal, as if nothing had happened. Yes, and with this, the film ends here.